Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here as we get ready for our 19th race of our second season of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We are here at the Rock in Rockingham, North Carolina, getting ready for 40 laps of racing. Should be a wild one here today. We saw some pretty interesting racing go on in qualifying, but it always seems like qualifying is not the best place to be able to figure out what the race trend is going to be, because usually they're spread out, they're trying to get themselves hot laps. Here they're going to be starting off double filed. That's going to give them the opportunity to try 3 and 4 wide racing in the turns. So we really just do not know until that green flag drops what we can expect out of these drivers here today. Rocco Twyman lines up on the pole position for today's race. His first pole of this season, but he has been a former pole sitter in the series before. He either had 2 or 3 poles last season when he drove the 11 for Joe Gibbs Racing, and he'll start off alongside of 2-time pole sitter this season, Levi McIntyre, in the 99. McIntyre seems to really have a great qualifying program, shows it off again here this week at Rockingham. So, we are moments away from getting the command to fire up the engines, but one driver that today really needs a good run is a 2-time winner this season, Charles Sanford. He is 29th in the point standings right now, has to get himself to stay in the top 30, have those 2 wins count toward a chase spot. We'll cover that as we get down and get the command. There is the command to fire him up. We are moments away from going green here at Rockingham, North Carolina. Pace car peels off pit road. Rocco Twyman will lead the 42 car field off, and as you look on the right side of your screen, there is your 42 car starting lineup, as well as your chase points at this current point in time if the chase were to start now, your overall top 16 in points, and the chase towards the top 30. Of course, still the 2 drivers that are in that are Joshua Sekuli and Kyle Keith. Keith in this race due to the car that's rolling off on the inside of row 2, Ryan Madden, being able to race his way into this event on time. So what can we expect to see here today at Rockingham? Will it be a wreck fest? Will we have green flag pit stops? Will it be fuel strategy? We're about to find out. Rocco Twyman, Levi McIntyre lead us down. Green flags out. We're underway at the Rock. Levi McIntyre got the wall there off of 2. As Twyman pulls out for the lead, Ryan Madden in second, and the caution flag is out already. Caution flag waving here before we've even completed lap number 1. And I don't rightly know where the... Oh, looks like it was an incident off turn 2. We saw Levi McIntyre get the wall. Maybe somebody else did too. Looks like maybe 2, potentially 3 cars might have been involved. Dallas McIntosh, one of them. Boy, he was so strong beginning of the season, even into the middle of the season, and now things have just seemed to really fall apart for that Cheez It Ford team. Looks like they'll try and get the car repaired. Jessica Shelton might have some damage on her machine. There's some left side damage on the NXT Chevrolet of Michael Norman. Trent Dunham's got some rear end damage on his Sega Chevrolet. Through the remainder of the field, though, looks like everybody else pretty much is good to go, got through it, and nobody's coming to pit road here to try any strategies. So Rocco Twyman leads us under our first caution. Let's see what happened. Well, Jessica Shelton might have been on the high side trying to get to the back, or she might have been forced up there, whatever the case. Just couldn't find grip up there early on. Gets into the wall, collects Trent Dunham. Joshua Sekuli might have gotten a piece of that too. There's Dallas McIntosh. He ran into the back of Trent. And then McIntosh trying to save it. And then goes across off the nose of Joshua Michaels. And then right there is where Michael Norman is going to get into the inside wall as well. And that's where he got the left side damage on his Chevy. So that's what brought out the caution. Really nobody's fault there. Just I guess there's no grip up there in the high line here at Rockingham. So Dallas McIntosh will line up on the inside line 1 lap down, but all 42 cars that took the green flag will take the green flag for the continuation of this race. So Jessica Shelton, Michael Norman, Joshua Michaels, they all got their cars repaired. They're still on the lead lap. McIntosh, the only car a lap down in 42nd. Top 10s we go back green. Rocco Twyman's the leader. Ryan Madden in second. O'Neill Baldwin third. Flickinger and Cittadino make up the top 5. Then it's Arndt, Richardson, Joe Rockingham, Cody Lamas, and Jake Baskinger. That is your top 10. Green flag back out. Looks like the lap machine, the damaged machine of Dallas McIntosh, won't be much of a problem for these leaders. And Rocco Twyman going to open up a little bit of distance between himself and second place, which could be a battle here. Ryan Madden, O'Neill Baldwin, Zach Flickinger. And we will now complete a lap under the green flag, which really doesn't surprise me. It kind of was suspected that in a double wide start, drivers are going to try and force the issue, even though really no issue was forced there when that caution came out. But still, there's more of a chance of drivers beating and banging off of each other and the yellow flag coming out. Now with a single file restart, they're going to get more spread out, and we're going to see more battling for position than we are 3 and 4 wide racing. Battle might be on for second place furthest up here to the front as Twyman continues to check out on the 2 U.S. Army Chevrolets, one out of Sega Motorsports, the other out of Flickinger Motorsports. Both former winners. Oh, we had some smoke there off turn 4. Did somebody spin? It might have been Joe Rockingham. Joe Rockingham is way back here. He was in the top 10 on the restart. He's back in 36 now. I think he might have spun the thing off turn 4, but we are not under the caution. Battle for second continues to heat up, but we got a good battle back here for the 4th position. Cody Lamas has reeled in O'Neill Baldwin. Here he comes to the inside looking for that position. And side by side up ahead for second place. Flickinger finally finding a way to the inside of Ryan Madden, and he will complete the pass coming out of turn number 4. Now sets his sights on trying to run down the race leader Rocco Twyman, who right now enjoys over a 1.5 second advantage. Last thing he wants to see right now is a caution flag, I guarantee you that. And Ryan Madden might have gotten the wall off of 2. He's lost a couple of spots. Baskinger got by Cody Lamas. Here comes James Richardson. Look at the Toyotas. 78, 11, and 83 of John Cittadino. Manuel Hartnett has now worked his way up to 8th place, now working his way past O'Neill Baldwin. And we documented how Charles Sanford needs a good run here today. Well, right now he's having it. Moving by for 9th place past O'Neill Baldwin, now looking for 8th under John Cittadino. Sanford going for his 3rd win of the season. Won at Atlanta and Talladega. Right now seems very content to follow in the tire tracks of Emmanuel Hartnett, who's charging his way to the front. Kyle Keith doing the same. Remember Kyle Keith trying to get into the top 30 in the point standings, and right now he is up inside the top 10. Last time by, crossed in 9th. Just took 8th from James Richardson. We're watching the battling back here because really up front it's kind of boring to watch Rocco Twyman turning laps. He has over 2 seconds between himself and second place Zach Flickinger. Flickinger might want to look in his rearview mirror though, because even though he's not gaining ground on Rocco Twyman, Jake Baskinger is gaining ground on him, and now Joe Rockingham will fall off the lead lap as Rocco Twyman gets around him. Rockingham right now scored in the 41st position. He is now one of 2 drivers 1 lap down. Dallas McIntosh the other. And as Flickinger encounters Rockingham, that might bring Jake Baskinger to his back door in the battle for second place. Flickinger ran low. Baskinger ran high there in 3 and 4. And he is right there. As far as lap traffic is concerned, Rocco Twyman's got about half a straightaway before he'll catch Dallas McIntosh, put him down a 2nd lap, and here's the battle for second place. Jake Baskinger to the inside. And he'll complete the pass. Baskinger, only win this season, a non-points win. That was the All-Star race, but I just noticed as well, Now, both he and Flickinger kind of closed the gap up a little bit on Rocco Twyman. They were over 2 seconds back last time by 1.6. So they closed it up by at least 0.4. That could be because of lap traffic. Let's see what the gap is this time between the two Dodge Darts. And this time, it was cut down again by about maybe 1.5. What would that be? 1.5. 15/100ths? I don't know, something like that. Rocco Twyman's about to encounter Dallas McIntosh and apparently lost some time getting around Joe Rockingham. Might lose some time here. Loses another 1/10 to Jake Baskinger, who is slowly reeling in that 19 car. And now Rocco Twyman gets by Dallas McIntosh. Now we'll have to see how Baskinger does getting around the Cheez-It Ford. Will this help him to close the gap up even more on the 19, or will it hold him up? Oh, there's the answer right there. It held him up. He didn't know where Dallas McIntosh was going. And boy, he had closed the gap up so much there. He was almost a second back. Now this is going to lose him ground to Rocco Twyman. Halfway home here at Rockingham. Got a couple of drivers that have popped up there into the top 5. Emmanuel Hartnett there in 4th. And how about JT Bryant? Now up into the 5th position. Great run there for the Fozzie Ford Fusion out of Young Motorsports. He's trying to reel in Emmanuel Hartnett for 4th. Kyle Keith right now running solidly in the 6th position. Got a good battle back here for 7th. This is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Richardson, Gonzalez, Lamas, Sanford, and McCrory. Out of these 5, 4 of them have been to victory lane this season already. And Baskinger, he lost ground due to the Dallas McIntosh machine. That is correct, but he's now going back to work on reeling in Rocco Twyman. Just cut the advantage that time down by 0.2. And it'll be 70 to go next time by, so he has time to reel him in, but you gotta wonder, can these drivers make it the full 40 laps without having to make a pit stop? Pit stops could come into play in the finish of this race. See if the gap's closed up this time at all. Another 0.2. So if this continues on, he's going to catch him within the next 4 to 5 laps as Baskinger, but catching him's one thing, passing him's another. And there's some cars back here that are not too far ahead of those two. Michael Norman, William Brock, Racing Acavito, Joshua Michaels, that's 38th, 39th, or 37th, 38th, 39th, and 40th, actually. Oh, and Rocco Twyman is looking at his rearview mirror, and Baskinger is looming larger and larger as each lap goes by. Half a second they advantaged last time by. And Baskinger is there. Here he comes. Battle for the lead could happen 25 laps into this race. That time it stayed about half a second. Baskinger maybe just biding his time because they do have traffic that they are more than likely going to encounter up ahead. And that traffic could be the deciding factor into the outcome of this race. Third on back, JT Bryant, 2.5 seconds back. Zach Flickinger, 4th, 3 seconds back. Emmanuel Hartnett, 5th, 3.5 seconds back. I don't think they're going to come into play in the outcome of this race unless pit strategy ends up playing a factor. First car that the leaders will encounter is Michael Norman. Got involved in our only caution of the day back on lap 1. So he is slightly off the pace. It's all going to come down to how these two Dodge Darts, one out of Fitzwater Australia Racing, one out of Bulldog Motorsports, how they deal with the drivers here at the tail end of the field, how they work their way through traffic. And now the driver they have to deal with is Grayson Acavito. Very interesting there. Acavito is a teammate to the 19 of Rocco Twyman. So we'll see if he lets the 19 by and trying to block for his teammate. Uh-oh, John Arntt's coming to pit road. So is Chris Dodd. So is Trent Dunham. This means pit stops are happening. And Rocco Twyman trying to get by his teammate. Acavito doesn't want to give up being on the lead lap, and now he has to give way to his teammate, but that put Jake Baskinger right on Rocco Twyman's back door. Uh-oh, wreck! We have a wreck! Oh, that's Sean Galligan. The leader was involved! I think he might have gotten a piece. Oh no! At least 3 of our leaders got collected in that. Caution's out. And this is really going to mess up the running order with drivers coming to pit road and the caution coming out. Oh boy. Jake Baskinger, as a result, inherits the lead, but now he's going to come to pit road. That's going to put drivers back on the tail end of the lead lap, I would think, and we could have ourselves one of those very weird-looking starts with a lot of drivers on the tail end of the lead lap being ahead of the race leader. But now the leaders will come to pit road to make their pit stops. I don't know about Kyle Keith, how much damage he might have sustained from that. But Rocco Twyman dominated this race, led every lap up to that point, got involved. And so too did Emmanuel Hartnett, who was at the time, I believe, running in the 3rd or 4th position. Baskinger down and away. He beats out Brandon Gonzalez. There you see Hartnett smoking. Oh, Baskinger got held up a little there behind Cat Tellier. But it looks like he will be the first one coming off of pit road. And yes, I believe he will. Then it will be Brandon Gonzalez, Anthony McCurry, Cody Lamas, and Zachary Fitzwater. And Kyle Keith did indeed get involved in that wreck. I thought he did. 42 car is out of the race. So all these drivers find themselves on the tail end of the lead lap. And I believe Baskinger will be our race leader when we go back to green. But we got to see what happened. I have a suspicion it may have something to do with green flag pit stops. Maybe somebody not realizing somebody else was pitting, something like that. But we're under our second caution of the day. We'll have less than 10 to go when we go back green. Don't go away. Replays coming up next. Well, this is very interesting. This had nothing to do with the fact that green flag pit stops were going on. These are 2 drivers that normally keep their cool on track, but don't know if maybe something happened earlier that we didn't see or what. But this is Sean Galligan and Dylan Poteet, and Galligan just runs the 31 up the track, tries putting him in the wall here, and I don't know if he ends up wrecking himself in the attempt to do so, or if Poteet turns down and wrecks Galligan along with him. But that just had intent written all over it, and I don't understand it. I don't know if these two ended up having a scuffle last week, or if they had a scuffle earlier on in this race. I don't know what the deal was. Whatever the case, though, it's going to have huge repercussions as far as the results for a number of drivers, including the leader, Rocco Twyman. You'll see him coming into view here very shortly. Galligan's car going to slide down the banking. There you see all these drivers going by are on the tail end of the lead lap. And then, oh, there's Grayson Acavito. There's Rocco Twyman. Just absolutely no reaction time. Baskinger got a tiny piece of that. Michael Norman nowhere to go. Twyman at the time was running in the lead. Baskinger was hounding him for it, but he hadn't taken it yet. And then watch here. Here comes Emmanuel Hartnett in the 97. He's running in the 3rd position. And he's trying to get on the brakes. Can't slow down. Hits both Michael Norman and Rocco Twyman. And then here comes Kyle Keith. Now, I was pretty certain that Kyle Keith got a piece of this. And we'll look at it in the slow motion to see right here. Watch the left front. Right there. Yep, he did. And I've seen many times where just that contact in there that can really damage a race car and put them out of the race. And apparently that's the case for Kyle Keith. So not only did we have a wreck there at the tail end of the field, but the drivers that were running 1st, 3rd, and 4th at the time are out of the race as a result of that. And it looked like Brandon Gonzalez might have gotten some left side damage from that as well. So we can probably count 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th involved in the incident. So let's go back to green. But this could be a pretty jumbled start. Lights are out atop the pace car. We'll go back green. Joe Rockingham is not on the lead lap, but he is at the front of this field. Your race leader is not Jake Baskinger, by the way. It is, surprisingly enough, J.T. Bryant, who is restarting all the way back there. 3 cars back is Baskinger, who will restart 2nd, Brandon Gonzalez 3rd, Anthony McCurry 4th, 5th, Cody Lamas. Then your top 10 will be Zachary Fitzwater, Kyle Matthews, Leon Alvarez, Carson Scott, and Seth Cole. We have a total of 18 cars back here, and then we have 14 cars up ahead of them that are on the tail end of the lead lap. Levi McIntyre, John Art, they are both a lap down. 2 laps down are Dallas McIntosh and Joe Rockingham. Drivers out of the race are Kyle Keith, Emmanuel Hartnett, Rocco Twyman, Sean Galligan, Grayson Acovito, and Michael Norman. Green flag back out. JT Bryant is the leader, but he might not be for long. Here comes Jake Baskinger in the 59. This is the battle for the lead as they're fighting their way through traffic. And Baskinger looks like he'll take the top position, heading into 3. 3 wide there with JT. And Baskinger has now opened a gap here. He's now starting to put some lap traffic between himself and JT Bryant, who might lose second place to Brandon Gonzalez. It'll be 5 to go next time by. Baskinger working underneath of Trent Dunham. He'll put him down a lap. Now goes to work on Dylan Poteet. He's got to be careful working his way through traffic here. JT Bryant has now found his way down to the low side, but he's about 4 cars behind Jake Baskinger. Baskinger, though, finding some difficulty getting through this traffic. He now gets by Cittadino, now goes to work on Chris Dodd in the 08. They're 3 wide ahead of him. Oh, this might not end well for Baskinger. Yikes. Rockingham nearly goes up and gets the wall. They're 3 wide back there with JT Bryant in second. 4 to go. Jake Baskinger was in the chase for the championship last season. Oh, look out! Trouble! Oh, Levi McIntyre hit the wall and gets airborne! That's gonna end it! Racing back to the line. Caution is out. That will end the race under yellow, and Jake Baskinger is gonna win here today. But oh my goodness. Joe Rockingham was the car I saw get out of shape. He clipped Levi McIntyre, and McIntyre hit the wall so hard that 2 right side tires left the racing surface. Wow. Looks like there was more going on over in 3 and 4 after that too. This time by, the flagging will be showing 2 to go. There is absolutely no possible way we will get back green flag racing. Jake Baskinger just has to make it around 2 more circuits at a measly 50 miles per hour behind the Dodge Charger pace car. I think he'll be able to do that pretty easily. But meanwhile, while that's happening, let's jump back and take a look at a replay of what happened to put us under the caution and finish this race under yellow. Alright, the car you're going to want to watch is that 84 of Joe Rockingham. Little contact there as they're 3 wide. Him sitting in with JT Bryant. And he's going to go up, get the wall, almost shades of Jessica Shelton earlier on. And then watch this. Contact with the 99 turns him up to the wall, and watch the hit. Oh my goodness, the car, actually all 4 tires left the racing surface. Makes contact there with John Arndt, Carson Scott, both the AS Racing cars involved. McCrory tries to get to the inside. He gets clipped. So does Ryan Madden. Leon Alvarez gets a piece of it. Benjamin Miles is involved. Brandon Gonzalez, Seth Cole, William Brock, Joshua Michaels, Daniel Voiles, Kat Tellier. Good grief, who wasn't involved? Jessica Shelton was in it. Oh boy. Big wreck to finish this race under caution. Good heavens. Man. Benjamin Miles, 2-time winner. Anthony McCrory, the defending champion. Comes William Brock, our winner a couple weeks ago at Springfield Mile. Jessica Shelton there, former winner this season at Darlington. And that is what brought out that caution flag. Good heavens. So let's go back. The white flag's been displayed for Jake Baskinger. He's about to pick up his first win of Season 2 here in the Hersheys Cup Series. Last season, Jake Baskinger drove the number 95 Ford to 2 victories. This season, it's taken him 19 races to find victory lane in a points-paying race for the first time in Season 2. Also our All-Star race winner, so he's having himself a pretty stellar season, and this will be the 3rd win of the year for Fitzwater Australia Racing as well. They'll be their second win, or their second driver to go to victory lane, I should say. Zachary Fitzwater, a 2-time winner this season. And Jake Baskinger will come to the line, he will cross it, and he will claim victory here today at Rockingham. Standings will be official as soon as everyone crosses the line. It looks like your top 10 have all crossed the stripe, and so they will be as they show here. Baskinger will win. JT Bryant so close, but he just couldn't find the inside line soon enough on that last restart. He'll get second. Cody Lamas will finish in third. Kyle Matthews in fourth, so he's still going to keep the points lead, no doubt. Boy, he's just been on a tear as of late as Kyle. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up a second win of the season pretty soon. Cole Baker will finish in fifth, highest finishing rookie. Leon Alvarez will finish in sixth. Fitzwater in seventh, so good run for both of the Fitzwater Australia racing cars that made the race. Carson Scott will finish eighth place rather. Joshua Michaels salvages ninth. He was right in the middle of that wreck there, that last wreck. And Brandon Gonzalez will finish in 10th. Seth Cole in 11th. Cat Teller in 12th. Charles Sanford, this will be a good finish to keep him inside the top 30 in points. He'll get 13th, 14th. James Richardson and Zach Flickinger, who was up there in the top 3 for majority of the first half of the race. He'll finish in 15th place. The last cars to finish on the lead lap from 16th down to 21st were Dylan Young, Joshua Sakuli, Joseph Strigley, O'Neal Balvin, Chris Dodd, and Noah Cars. Everybody else finished either a lap down or out of the race after that wreck. William Brock, Jessica Shelton, Benjamin Miles, Anthony McCrory, Daniel Voiles all retired from the race. So, certainly a very interesting race here at Rockingham. I thought it was going to come down to fuel strategy, or more than likely we were going to end up having a wreck take place with drivers trying to pit under green flag conditions. Well, neither of those things really happened. We ended up having a wreck, obviously, under green flag conditions with the green flag pit stops, but it wasn't with drivers trying to find their way onto pit road, which is where I thought that caution might come out. So we ended up working 3 cautions today. Some of them pretty big, some of them not so big, but the end result is the same. Jake Baskinger going to victory lane here today and maybe clinching himself a spot in this season's chase for the championship. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's race here from Rockingham. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Here's your full results once again, down through 42nd place. We'll now show you your rookie point standings and your overall point standings heading into next week. I'm Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, Offline Racing at its best. So long from Rockingham, North Carolina.